Hello YouTube, welcome to our channel. Have you thought about purchasing a generator to boondock with your travel trailer?
We just purchased our WEN DF 400i inverter generator. We wanted to show you what it's all about.
Stay tuned.
We've been shopping and researching generators for quite some time now. We wanted something that we could use for our RV that would be big enough to run the air conditioner. This is the one that I finally decided to go with. One of the reasons I decided to go with is because this one has an option for propane, and I didn't want to have to worry about modifying another one. We were also looking at the Predators, which didn't have the option for propane. And one of the reasons I decided to go with this one is because I like the wheels on it better, which I'll show you. And also I like the handle, so it's easier to move around. This thing weighs right about 100 pounds empty. So we're gonna go ahead and look at what all came in the box and start to assemble it and start it up and break it in. And then we'll show you some videos later of us using it, just so you know how it works. Another reason I decided we decided to make this video was because there's not one right now. This is a brand new product, and so we're probably going to be one of the first ones to review it. So this is the first start. We've got the battery connected. I put the oil in it, and we have some gas in there. I'm going to give it a few pulls with the rope just to get some oil flowing. And so now we're going to put it on the choke position and hit the start button. Run it. We've run our generator for about 5 or 6 hours for the break-in. The oil that I used for the break-in was the 530 synthetic blend that I had in the garage. It's just some castor oil. And so now we're going to change the oil for the first time. So I've got the generator on some bricks. And this generator is really nice because when you want to change the oil, it has this hose right here, which makes things really neat. Another thing that I would highly recommend that we purchased separately is this, it's a magnetic oil dipstick, and you can see the metal that it's picking up in the oil from the break-in period. So, you know, all that stuff's floating around in your oil, and I would highly recommend getting one of these because that's worked out well. And then, so what we're going to do is drain the oil, and you can see it's for only a couple hours of use. It's pretty dirty. So we're going to let that drain, and then we're going to refill it with some fresh oil. The break-in of a brand new engine, when it's assembled, there's a lot of things inside of it that have to wear in. It's metal on metal. And so that first, couple hours that you use it, there's, your piston rings, valves, and things like that that actually do wear a little bit. And so it's very important that you break the motor in properly and that you drain that oil, because the first batch of oil is going to be the dirtiest. And so you can see this is only a couple hours of use, what we have here. So now we're going to put the cap back on the hose, and then that tucks right in here, like that. And the generator came with this handy funnel. The instructions say to fill it up right to the top of this, to the top of the threaded area. It's kind of hard to judge when you have a funnel in here. We got a bottle of full synthetic 530 Valvoline motor oil, and the manual calls for 18.6 fluid ounces. And that's about what we put in it before. So we'll check it and see where it's at. That's it. We have clean oil.
The rated wattage for gasoline is 3,200 watts. Surge wattage is 4,000 for gasoline. Propane, 2,900 watts. 3,200 for surge wattage. It's a single phase, 60 hertz frequency. You have a decibel rating of 58 dBA. Product weight, this is 100 pounds. You have a 4-stroke engine. Fuel tank capacity is 2.2 gallons. Oil capacity is 18.6 fluid ounces. Half load runtime is 8.5 hours on gasoline and 9 hours on a 20-pound propane tank. For more information, check out the link below.
We wanted to get the inverter style generator because they're much quieter, they're much more efficient on fuel, and they are lighter and smaller and more compact. I was very close to getting the Predator from Harbor Freight, the 3500, but one of the things that I think we wanted to get was the option to use propane, because when you have your RV, you always have propane, and so we do have that option with this one. Another thing that I was really happy about this is the build quality. I didn't like the wheels on the Predator 3500 because they're very small, and this one, and it doesn't have a handle. This one has a very nice sturdy handle with nice wheels in the back. And one of the things that I really like about this thing is it has 4 rubber feet, and when you set it down, it's actually, all of the weight is on the 4 feet. The wheels in the back don't really have weight on them, and so when you set this thing where you want it, it really doesn't move at all, and it's very stable. The overall build quality, as far as the way that the panels fit, everything is very nice. It fits well, nothing rattles. So some of the features that I wanted to show you is right here is your battery compartment. This generator actually has a lithium battery. It's not a lead acid battery like all the other generators, so it's smaller, and it does give you more performance there. It does have the pull start option in case your battery is dead. It also has 2 really nice grab handles on the top, so if you do have to lift it up into the truck, that's a nice feature. The gas tank is on top. As Tanya said, it holds 2.2 gallons. Today we're going to see how it performs and see how much runtime we get and how it works. The control panel on this machine is really nice. I really like it. Another feature that this generator has that I'll show you is it has a fuel shutoff on it. So when you're running gasoline, you can turn from your run position. You can turn this to off, and with under a minute, it will actually run the gas out of the carburetor, so that when you store it, you don't have any issues with your carburetor gunking up with the ethanol-based fuels. It also has a data meter on it. On this side, it shows you your percentage of your load. So when you start it up, it's on 0, and then the more stuff you start running, you get a gauge right here that shows your consumption of power. On this side, it's actually a fuel gauge which shows you how much fuel you have in the tank. This display right here, it goes back from volts to hertz to run time or run hours. So those are the 3 functions of that right there. It also has an eco mode switch, which most inverter generators do. It not only helps conserve fuel, but it idles it determines the speed of the engine by the load, so it's not wide open the whole time. Here's your start on and then start button. It has 2 20 amp 120 volt sockets or receptacles. Another feature that I liked about this one is it actually has a 30 amp plug for your travel trailer, and you don't have to use an adapter. It just plugs right in. So this is your 120 volt 30 amp RV receptacle, just like you would have at the campsite. It has circuit breakers right here for your DC and your AC resets. It also has another thing that this has that the Predator didn't have is a 2 USB ports, 2.1 amp and 1 amp, and it also has your 12 volt cigarette lighter plug. So there's a lot of things that you can run on that as well. Right here is your port for your propane tank or your propane hose. And it also has a ground screw right here if you want to ground your generator, which is sometimes a good idea. So let's fire this baby up. Right now we're in the off position. When it's cold, you always want to put it on choke, and then you turn your switch to on, and make sure your eco mode is off, and hit it. After it sputters, as you can see, it's pretty quiet. Now let's put it in eco mode. Here's your, right now we have a full tank of gas, and we're at the very bottom of our capacity because we're not hooked up yet. The way that this thing is designed as far as cooling goes is the air is drawn in through the front, down here at the bottom, and it blows the hot air out of the back. So that's what's cooling the engine. And of course you've got your muffler back here, and it does have a spark arrestor on it, which I believe is required in the national and the state parks to prevent forest fires. Now we wanted to show you how the propane setup works. Another advantage to propane is that it's a lot safer to carry in the back of your pickup truck than 5 gallons of gasoline. Another good thing about propane is it doesn't really have a shelf life, so you can store it for long amounts of times and not worry about your ethanol-based gasoline becoming stale, which could damage your generator. So let me show you how the hookup works on that. They also include the propane regulator. It comes with the generator, so that's something that you don't have to buy. And basically, it's very simple to hook up. It is, you screw your hose right here onto the propane inlet, and it's always a good idea to make sure that that is tight. And then the other end hooks up just like your barbecue pit or your RV. You don't really even need a tool for that. You just tighten it with your hand. One of the cool things about this that I wanted to show you is it automatically changes from propane to gas. If you have your propane tank hooked up and your propane runs out it will automatically switch over to gas, which gives you even more extended runtime. So the way that the propane works is you just turn this knob or this valve just like you would your barbecue grill. We're going to just go with run on this because we've already warmed it up, and you start it up. So now we're running on propane. The way that I can show you how this works is if your propane tank is hooked up and you have pressure, it defaults to the propane. If you turn your propane off or your tank runs out, you hear it stall, and then it automatically switches to gas just like that. So the generator never dies. So that gives you double the run capacity because you can use a full tank of propane and a full tank of gas, and I'm not sure what that would be total time, but quite some time. And then if you crack this valve back open again, you'll hear it switch back to propane. So now we're running on propane. Now we're running on gas. Very cool. If for any reason your battery is not working or is dead, you also have the pull start feature. So to do that, you just switch it to the on position and pull the rope. It starts very, very easy. Another thing I wanted to try out is our RV comes with the propane port that runs off of the tank that's on the tongue of our trailer. We use this to operate our grill. Our trailer has its own regulator which is designed to operate everything on the trailer, which would be the water heater, the stove, the refrigerator, the furnace, and our Blackstone griddle. But what I wanted to see is if I hook the hose directly up to this port with the generator, if the regulator settings on the trailer are the same as the regulator settings on our regulator that came with the generator, because that gives us more options with having a 12-foot hose and keeping it close to our trailer. So let's see if this is going to work. We've got it hooked up. I've got the valve turned on. The valve is turned on the front of the trailer, and now we're going to start it. So right now we're running off of our propane with our trailer, and it seems to be running pretty smooth. That's eco mode, and then there's the regular idle. So I would say yes, this will work, but I'm not sure if you'd be losing any performance on your voltage outputs, because if that regulator is not dialed in just perfectly like this one. But it seems to be performing pretty well to me. And then again, I'll show you, is if we turn this valve off, you can see how it just switched back to gas again. So it is working. As long as you have gas in the tank, when you turn your propane off, it's going to switch back to the gas. So now let's turn it back to propane again. And so now we're running on propane. I'm not an electrician, but we do have one of these surge protectors. And one of the things that I've realized is because our generator is not grounded, which that would mean that you would actually install a cable on this screw right here and then drive a rod down into the ground. When you start this generator with this in there, instead of having two green lights like we would normally have, we have one green light on which is saying open ground. I don't really think that's an issue, but this does produce the clean power, unlike other regular generators. So I'm really not too worried about using our surge protector, but I just wanted to bring that up. Now we're going to plug in our 30 amp 120 volt RV power cable. It plugs directly into this receptacle right here, and we'll go ahead and start it up. So right now we are currently in eco mode, and we don't have anything. I think our converter is on, our refrigerator is on, and we might have some lights going on the inside. Right now we're still at the bottom of our range. So I'm going to go inside and turn on the air conditioner, and we'll see if the generator will run it. So right now with our air conditioner on, we're only at 50% load. We also have the refrigerator going and some other things inside. I think I'm going to go ahead and go in and turn on the microwave, and let's see what happens. We are in eco mode. You can see how much power it's using. If I take it out of eco mode, it's not really making much difference in the RPMs of the engine. I like using the eco mode because it automatically regulates the engine speed. So as you can see, when we run our microwave and our air conditioner on high cold, we are getting a overload, and it is going all the way up to the top on our power consumption. So that's really not a problem for me. If we need to turn one off to warm something up in the microwave, it's not a big deal.
We've moved the generator out. We have a 25-foot cord, so it's about 25 feet from the trailer. This is what it would sound like if you're at the campsite. With the air conditioning, the refrigerator, some of the lights, and the water heater, you can see that it's very, very quiet. I think this generator is going to work great for us. I really like so far everything about it. This is our first weekend to actually try to use it. One of the things that I'm realizing that I'm not too happy about is this gauge right here that displays volts, amps, and hours. If you have it out in the sun, you're not going to be able to read it at all. Right now it's in the shade, and you can barely read the numbers. I think if it was dark, it would probably look fine. I think that's one of the only things that I don't like about it so far. We were kind of like the guinea pigs for this generator. There were no videos on YouTube talking about this model. This is a new model. WEN's been around for a long time, but it's a new DF 400i. So we wanted to make a video. We purchased it on Amazon for $823 plus tax on Prime. It got here very quickly. It's working well for us so far. Maybe when we've used it several times, we'll come back and give you a full review. So if you're using a generator for your RV for boondocking, let us know what generator you're using and what you think about it. Stay tuned. One of the projects that I think I might want to do is build a generator quiet box, something that we can cover the generator up when we are camping to see if we can even quiet it even more. If you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, press the notification bell, and share with anybody that's looking for a generator, and don't forget to like. Enjoy your weekend, and thank you for watching. Bye. Bye.